I would say generally look at people that made it to the level where you want to go, reach out to them, talk to them. How did you get to where you are today? And then pretty much design a roadmap. Right now, I think there's an abundance of information out there, of things you should do, things you shouldn't do in order to reach the next level, the highest level. So I think finding people that resonate with you, that you feel like, okay, I can implement those changes in my life, and then going after them and kicking ass every single day. Because that's what it's ultimately is going to come down. I think it's consistency. Nothing beats consistency. You can do stuff for a week, that's great, but ultimately the people I played with that made it to the top, and there's a shit ton of them that made it up there. They were all consistent in what they were doing. Like the extra work they were doing during the week, they weren't just doing for a couple of weeks in a row. They were doing that for years. And I think at some point that pays off. And you all probably know the phrase trust the process. I think that's what that is. You make a plan and you commit to it. And one of the best sayings, it's the last thing that grows is the fruit. The last thing that grows on trees is the fruit. And that's something that you should always keep in mind. Like sometimes we tend to compare ourselves to other people. So this guy's already here making his pro debut. But we shouldn't do that. You should trust the process. Find a plan of how many hours of extra work you want to do a week, commit to that over time, and I promise you will see results down the road, whatever that is for you. Because it's just such a broad thing, right? What do you need to go to the top level? Like you need to be good technically, you have a tactical good understanding. There's certain physical aspects that you just need to hit in order to make it up there. The psychological, do you have the game mentality in order it takes? Can you blend out the opponent's fans? Can you handle the pressure? There's so many things that go into it, and I just don't know you enough, any of you enough to know which of those things you need. So you just have to be really self-reflective. And actually, that's a really good point there is the number one thing for me is self-reflection. You have to be able to look in the mirror and be really brutally honest with yourself. Those are the things that go well. Those are things that don't go well. And if you can do that, a lot of the good pros can do that. And that's a really good step. Overall, a good quality to have, I think, being honest with yourself. And it's not pretty sometimes, unfortunately, especially if you go to coach. I've done that many times and asked, hey, coach, what can I do better? Hoping he would say, nah, Tim, you're awesome. You're perfect. But more often than not, he's going to tell you something that you probably don't like to hear, or maybe you even disagree with. But then how do you handle that? I think that really distinguishes the elite players from the average players.